Hello everyone and welcome back guys to the finale of the VGN Renault Clio Cup. Why do I keep forgetting what this car's called? The Renault Clio Cup. Final round, round 6 here today, and we head to Brands Hatch. Now this obviously is the championship decider between myself and Rai. We go into this one with a 95-point lead, which basically meant that he needed to win every single race tonight and qualify on pole. He didn't. I managed to get second, so before the race has even begun, luckily for me, I think the title has now mathematically been decided here tonight. But still, heading into Brands Hatch, though, I hadn't been able to do any practice. I literally got home 2 minutes before qualifying began, and yeah, I somehow managed to, Brands Hatch is one of those tracks for me where I either get up to pace quite quickly, or I just can't get a rhythm around here whatsoever. Luckily, this time around, it appeared to be one of those ones where I get up to pace quite quickly here. As you can see, started P2. Tiggerwoo's going to try and defend the inside in towards the hairpin there and just run way too deep. And we now move ourselves up into the lead of the first race of the night there. So certainly not a bad start to the final race of this series. But yeah, certainly, as you can probably tell by the video length, a very, very long one coming in towards the final round of VGN. Brands Hatch is a track that can create a lot of chaos, a lot of carnage, everything like that. So hopefully we can try and blast through these races as quickly as possible there. But yeah, we do lead the way. Obviously off the first lap then of this race, Tiggerwoo making that mistake has given us a bit of a margin. As down the straight, I don't really know what I'm doing. I think I was on the phone at this point in all honesty. Don't text and drive, kids. But I think, yeah, I was meant to be having tea as well, so everything was a little bit chaotic coming into the first race of the night, but luckily we did hold on, and we, slowly but surely built up the gap, built up a bit of a rhythm around this place as well, sort of worked out what the car can and can't do around this Brands Hatch circuit there, and yeah, coming over the line there, we do win the first race of the night by a good 3 seconds over Tiggerwoo there, lifting as actually it came down towards the line because I'd already left to go eat my tea, so yeah, funny story in that one there. But that was the first race of the night then completed. You can see we did end up winning by 2.7 seconds still over Tiggerwoo. Fastest lap as well there, absolutely critical, and yeah, that mathematically definitely means now that we have wrapped up the title there. I think we've now built up like a 110-point lead. There's only 100 points available each week, and obviously 30 for a win, 25 for a second. We went in with a 95-point lead, so Rai needed to win. He needed to get pole, win 2 races, and finish second in the other, and I just needed to score a point, or otherwise he had to win all 3 races there. And obviously where we beat him in qualifying basically just mathematically meant obviously there wasn't enough points that he could try and bring back in this series. So yeah, we do therefore wrap up our 4th VGN title, so very, very happy with that one there. But moving on though into race 2, obviously the reverse top 10 grid then ready for the second race of the night. The lights coming on now and it's the lights out, and away we go there off to a, well, Brands Hatch front wheel drive. Always makes the starts very, very interesting where it's such a cambered circuit on the start line there. Everyone sort of gets shot down towards the pit wall, as you can see coming in towards come on. They're trying to swoop around the outside of Tiggerwoo. A little bit of contact there between the pair of us. Just cold tyres really does create a lack of certainty in the car as we dip the wheels actually on the grass, go into turn 2 in backwards. Nice Tokyo drift style there as we head through the first couple of corners. Luckily we do just slot in once again down into P11, I think P12, just about. Their accident to give Freebie a bit of a punt, bail off the throttle there. Luckily everyone comes out of that one fairly unscathed at the end of that one there. Tiggerwoo still holds on. Freebie potentially able to look up the inside maybe as we head down in towards this long next corner on towards the back straightaway. Are we going to be potentially able to get a bit of a run on the exit of the corner there? Big white dog just gets caught underneath Freebie there as well, so we're going to be able to have a look around the outside of him once again, just getting the wheels caught out of the ground, struggling with the sides of this car at the moment there. It's down in towards the next corner there. You can see trying to get round the outside of Freebie there, but he just slams the door shut, runs me out into the gravel, into the grass even I should say, and we do slot back down into P11 of this race, but we're not giving up just yet though. We're going to try and look up the inside maybe. Down the hill we go here. Who is going to be able to come out on top? We have muscle away onto the inside there. It's going to be side by side in towards the next corner. We're giving the room around the outside. Hayden and Sticks have come together there as well, which is going to give us another place there. As around the outside of Freebie we go, and we now move ourselves back up into P9 of this race. So despite the reverse entry in towards turn 2 there, we have actually been able to hold on and now move ourselves up, well, effectively hold on to where we were going through turn 1. You can see Tigger just up the road there, up into P7 of this race there. So yeah, he's doing a good job in the early stages of the second race of the night. Westmeister leads the way currently after the end of lap 1 here, and now we're trying to close down the gap to Sticks as well. As you can see, just a huge cluster of cars just up the road here towards the end of lap 2 now. You can see we're all over the back of Sticks here, and everyone just trying to slot into position. Obviously everyone wants to try and make up places in the early stages of the race if you're starting towards the rear of the field there. As through the next couple of corners we go, they're really trying to just get a run on sticks, but very, very consistent on the exits of the corners here. What are we going to be able to do in towards the final corner here? Not really an overtaking opportunity unless you're fully alongside, but it does give you a bit of a chance to try and go for a switchback move, you know, slow in fast out, potentially give yourself a run down towards turn 1, but we haven't been able to do that this time around, and everyone's still just clustering up together just in front of us. It's down in towards turn 1 there. Sticks and Tigger almost come together. We clip the curb through turn 1. Are we going to be able to get a bit of a run off the exit there? Sticks runs a bit wide over the curb, so we're going to have a look between the pair of them there. 3 wide in towards the head when we go. Tigger plays a very, very late defensive move there. I think there's contact between Rally and Vision thing. It's all going wrong just up the road. They're almost 3 wide. We managed to actually make that work between Tigger and Sticks there. So we now move ourselves up into P7 of this race. Is Cozzy now just in front of us as well. Are we potentially going to be able to line up a move down in towards the next corner? Vision and Rally still side by side there. Tigger, we're just running into the back of me. We're going to be able to try and get a bit of a run around the outside of Cosworth here as we head now back down this back straightaway. Once again, Vision and Rally just in front of us as well. Though we're 2 by 2 as we head down in towards the fast right-hander here. Who's going to be able to come out on top there? Cozzy breaks nice and tightly there. We do get round the outside as Rally actually very slow on the exit of the corner there as well. So we make the move work around the outside of the pair of there. Not often do we see that the cars on the outside come out on top in those situations there. But Vision and myself now move up into P4 and P5 of this race. But hopefully we can try and get past him as quickly as possible here as well. As potentially you can see just up the road there, Stamina actually makes a big mistake as we head in towards the penultimate corner of the lap here. Certainly not ideal for him. I don't think he's picked up any damage though. He might have picked up a tiny bit of front aero damage there or something like that, but I think I would be surprised if he's come out of that with any damage, to be honest with you. Obviously Forza's damage model is very lenient there as we now get up the inside of Vision thing out of the final corner, and we got the inside in towards turn 1 here. Hopefully that should be now up into P4 of this race. We try and get the car slowed down nice and tightly. We stop Vision trying to get the switchback move there, a bit of, you know, a little bit of parking it on the apex to try to avoid getting the cut back there on the exit of the corner. And we now move ourselves up into P4 of this race there. So going well at the moment here, and obviously hopefully we can try and continue on with this progress. So, you know, we went from what, 10th to 13th to 4th inside 3 laps there, so really happy with that one. And obviously over the next couple of laps the pit stop window would start to be taking effect here, and we've started to take a little bit of time out of Stamina there. We've got Westmeister and Rye still at the front of the field here. Rye been taking some big, you know, been making some big gains over Westmeister over these last couple of laps there, and West and Stamina both going to dive into the pits on the end of that lap there. So we now move ourselves up into P2 of this race, and now we've got a golden opportunity to try and go for a bit of a overcut on Stamina here as we head through the first couple of corners. You can see I actually set my fastest lap of the race as well there on that lap, 1 minute 37.439 there. Really happy with that one now as entering the pit lane on the end of lap 6, trying to get a good run as possible there. And I think we've actually had, you know, quite a tiny run through there. Certainly not my best, certainly not my worst, but, you know, safe but consistent. Obviously echoes of Homestead still ring in the, you know, the darker reaches of my mind there. Is coming down the pit lane. You can see hopefully we won't get screwed by Brands Hatch's inconsistency. I think we've lost that a tiny bit to Rye in the pit stop window there, and yeah, that really does need to be sorted, Forza. But we do come back out in P8, I think it might be P9. We've got someone coming down the pit lane now. I think, yeah, we are going to drop back down to P9 there. That's Westmeister effectively reclaiming the net lead of this race there, as we have been able to make the undercut work, sorry, the overcut even I should say, on Stamina. I'm not too sure, you know, if he struggled on the fresh compound tyres, you know, sort of the cold tyres on the outlap there. But yeah, we now move ourselves up into effective P3 of this race there. So making good progress still at the moment, and now just 5 laps to go here. Could we potentially try and close down the gap to Rye and Westmeister here? And you can see already by the end of lap 8, these two starting to have a bit of a ding-dong. Hopefully we can try and get a bit closer and potentially capitalise on this situation as well in towards the final corner of lap 8. 3/4 of the way now through this race. Are we going to potentially go for anything in the final couple of laps here? You can see no one's still opted to dive into the pit lane though at the end of that lap, so we are still holding on to P7 now. I think it was one car in the pit lane. I don't really know. As we head through turn 1, you can see West and Rye side by side, and we're almost going to split them through the middle there, try to make it 3 wide. Rye and West are still making a bit of contact. No love lost between the pair of these two. As you can see coming down the hill, we almost think about making it 3 wide once again. They're still banging doors there. Not too sure what's going on in this situation there, as we're going to try to get a bit of a run on the exit of the corner here, around the outside of Ryder. We just dip a wheel out onto the grass here, as we're just not going to quite give ourselves the run there. We're going to try and go for a bit of a slow in, fast out line through the next corner there and potentially give ourselves a slingshot down this back straightaway here. But it was at this point I sort of realised, realistically, what we want to do is try and let these two fight and get them both in, you know, sort of one go. If the opportunity did open up for us, we'll have to wait and see if we can there. But yeah, at the moment I was honestly considering, you know, just trying to stay back, let Rye and Westmeister have their battle and just see if an opportunity opened up to let me pass the pair of them there. Because you can see already, just a couple of corners are going side by side with Rye, how much time we lost there in that situation. You know, we need to try and keep Westmeister still as close as possible here. So yeah, you know, a couple of small mistakes there definitely gave Rye a bit of a, you know, a bit of a breathing space nonetheless there, but I was consciously thinking about trying to, you know, let these guys have a little bit of a battle themselves and just try to capitalise if an opportunity opened up there. A horrible couple of runs through the corners there. You can see in towards the final turn of the lap there. Right, already all over the back of Westmeister here, so potentially he might try and look up the inside in towards turn 1 maybe. West defends it. You can see everyone else now dives it through the pit lane, so we now move ourselves back up into P3 of this race, and as we come through turn 1 there, Rye's going to try and get the switchback move on Westmeister. They're going to be side by side as they head down the hill there. Westmeister still leads the way there. Rye on the inside, and he's going to go for the lunge. West is just going to turn in, and they're going to get caught together, and well, the strategy masterclass has paid off there. You know, we've been able to capitalise on that one. Very, very lucky, I'll be honest, but sometimes you can just tell something's going to happen. You know, your racing senses come alive there, and yeah, we managed to make that one work. And now up into the lead of the second race of the night there. Really, really happy with that one there. And yeah, over the next couple of laps, though, we were able to build up a tiny safety margin over Rye and Westmeister there. You can see now up to 2.5 seconds at the end of the lap there. So really, really happy with that one there as we head through the final couple of corners of lap 12. And it would be back-to-back wins in this final round of the championship. Could we potentially go 3 for 3? I don't think any time so far this season we've actually won the first 2 races of the night there. I know we've won, you know, sort of 2 of the 3 before, but never the first 2. So potentially, you know, is 3 out of 3 on the cards? I don't know there as we head through the final corner, doing a nice pirouette over the finish line. And yeah, happy with 2 wins at 2 so far this evening there. Rye comes through for P2 ahead of Vision and Stamina. Not too sure what happened to West at the end of the day there. The head of Rally Cap, Cozzy, Freebie and Wompson there. Sorry, Tigawoo as well in P6. I thought I missed one in all of that commotion there. But yeah, really happy with the second race of the night there. And back-to-back wins means we are going to be starting from last place, ready for the third and final race of the night then. As yeah, this final race could pretty much just be left unedited, I'll be honest with you. It was absolute chaos at the end of the day there. Sticks on pole ahead of Hayden, Ben, Ethan, Donk, Blumpson, Freebie, Cozzy, Rally, Tigard, West, Stamina, and then obviously Rye and Vision, Rye and myself rounds out the order then. 15 cars for the final race of the series. It's 5 lights and it's lights out, and away we go. One final time for the VGN Clio Cup. What a brilliant car and series has been. You know, big thanks to VGN once again for hosting these brilliant series here on Forza Motorsport. Down towards turn 1 though, we've still got business to be done in the final race of the championship there. Around the outside of Rye as we head through the first couple of corners. Are we going to... He tries to give me the squeezer. Actually a bit of contact as well. A lot of Constantina and up on the inside. Stamina. I don't know if that was contact or lag or what there, but yeah, Rye able to, you know, sort of muscle everyone to the outside there as we head through the first couple of corners a bit. Oh, I don't know if that's lag or what between myself and Stamina there. He gets the run on the exit of the corner there as we try to look up the inside of Vision thing there. Potentially still up the inside of Rye. We're certainly going to try and keep the car on the inside there, using the curbs to as much as possible there, given the space on the outside of the corner there. And we now move ourselves up into P13 of this race there. So not a bad start to the final race of the night, but obviously we've got everyone that's going to be sort of around our pace. You know, by the third race of the night, pretty much everyone is very much Constantina up on the pace as well there. Rye thinks about how to look around up the inside even, I should say, but we do hold it firm there around the outside. You know, get us, you know, just able to swoop around the outside. The front wheel drive really can help out in those situations there. As now Tigger and Stamina going to come together. Not too sure what that was all about. Don't know if that was lag or what. Freebie and Rally Cap get caught out as well there, so potentially we're going to be able to try and capitalise on another couple of places here, potentially around the outside of Rally. No, he defends at the last moment there, and now we move ourselves up into P10 here of the final race of the series. So not a bad start. 5 places made up in the opening lap of this race as we head now down in towards the final couple of corners. A little bit late on the brakes, so that potentially was going to give Rye a bit of a run. No, he doesn't quite get the traction on the exit of the corner there, so we do hold on to P10 on the end of lap 1 here. So 5 places made up in the opening lap. Rally thinks about having a look up the inside of Westmeister in towards turn 1 there, but can't make the move work as we head down the hill. Are we going to potentially have a look up the inside of Rally? No, he plays the defensive card once again. We have a look around the outside. Rally once again tries to have a look up the inside there, but can't quite get the move done. I don't know if he thought we were alongside each other or what, but yeah, it takes a lot of curb through the corner and doesn't quite give himself the run on the exit of the corner there. Is now on the exit of turn 3 here. We do still hold on at the moment here, but Rally's potentially having a look up the inside of Westmeister here, but just makes a bit of a mistake halfway through the corner there. That's not going to give himself the run on the exit. We're going to be able to have a look round the outside in towards the next couple of corners here. It's all about just trying to get the right clutch control. Are we going to be able to potentially get the car right the way around the outside? I think we are just about there as a Rally, but he does bail out ever so slightly earlier than myself in towards the next corner there, and he does hold on to P10 of this racer. I think he's still got Rye breathing down his neck through the next couple of corners here, really trying to attack the curbs as best as possible here. And next up on the old hit list will be Westmeister here, as through the next couple of corners we go. Are we going to potentially have a look on Westmeister there? He makes a bit of a mistake out onto the grass there. We're going to have a look round the outside maybe in towards the penultimate corner there. He takes a lot of curb, no contact there, brilliant close racing, and we do get right around the outside in towards the final couple of corners there. So that's now us up into P8 of this race. So still making good progress in the early stages of this race. So you can see Hayden currently leads the way. I'm sure he'd love to take one race in this championship there, as I accidentally, well, I don't know if that's called a block or what, but you know, we played it defensive in towards turn 1 there. Westmeister tried to have a look up the inside there. We were already on the inside of the corner there. Take a little bit of curb on the exit of turn 1 there. Westmeister not quite going to be able to get the run, but certainly he's going to try and go for the dive in towards the next couple of corners there. He's going to try and muscle me out a little bit wide on the exit there, but luckily we hold firm around the outside there. A little bit of contact on the way down the hill as well there, as we try to get back over towards the racing line. Someone's going to run into the back of there. That's Rally trying to, you know, capitalise in that situation as well there, but we do hold on to P8 of this race here. And next up is Bwumpson here, as we've got Big White Donk as well just in front of him there. As yeah, Bwumpson obviously won the race last week out, the final race at Sonoma there, so hopefully we can try and get a little bit closer to him in this one there. He did a very good job there, and I'm sure Hayden would, you know, like to you know, sort of draw one even in the championship for LCR Orange there. We're actually in a good title fight as well for the teams championship, so hopefully we can try and capitalise on that tonight. I think with only Rye, you know, from the rival team showing up, I think we will have been able to wrap up the teams as well here. Myself, Ethan and Ben, as we now head in towards the next couple of corners here. Bwumpson just, you know, still trying to hold on just in front of us there. He's really getting some good lines here. He struggled a bit through the second half of the lap. You know, he did admit that in the party, but, you know, we were still trying to close up as quickly as possible. Potentially around the outside in towards the final couple of corners of the lap here. And we're going to try and go for the typical slow in, fast out. Now, Bwumpson just that little bit later on the brakes there. And are we going to be able to potentially make this move work there? We're certainly going to try it there. Hopefully up the inside. Yeah, we've been able to get the run on the exit of the corner there. Luckily, he gives me the room around the outside nonetheless there. And yeah, we now move ourselves up into P7 here. So still making good progress every single lap of this race so far. And you can see the top four really Constantinian up in this race in the early stages here. But we've still got a long way to go before we can get up to those guys there. Donk runs a little bit wide through turn 1. You know, a little bit of a late move. Thought about having a look up the inside there, but we couldn't make anything work this time around there. And luckily Donk, you know, he gets the run on the exit of the corner there. It was a bit of a late attempt from myself, I'm more than happy to admit, in that situation there. But yeah, Donk still holds on to P6 of this race here, but hopefully we can try and get all over the back of him and potentially line up a move as soon as possible here. We've got Bwumpson just behind us, still trying to defend from Westmeister here. Are we going to be able to potentially have a look on Donk potentially down this back straightaway? We're not really gaining enough to even sort of think about it. You can't really go for a late dive bomb in towards the next corner there, but Donk just a little bit slower than I was expecting through the corner there, so we are going to be able to get the run on the exit there. Are we going to potentially have a look at the inside? Not really a typical overtake in place, but we're certainly going to try it there. Give him the squeeze on the exit of the corner there. Try to give him the room through the corner there, but we do get up the inside, and we now move ourselves up into P6 of this race here. As next up is Ethan here. If we're going to be potentially able to line up something over the next couple of laps, everyone is Constantinian up behind Hayden here. You can see we've got Ben and Ethan just in front of us there for LCR Blue. This should be a good haul of points as well for the team there. And now onto lap 5, you can see trying to close up even more there. Cozzy's trying to look up the inside of Hayden as we head down the next straight here. It's a lot of contact going on between the front guys there. I think that sticks as well. So going to potentially try and line up something as we head through this almost hairpin style corner there. We're going to try and get the run off the back straight away. Are we going to potentially go for anything? Ethan there plays it defensive, but I think, you know, we have been able to get quite a good run there. Struggling a little bit with the clutch there, as I think he's actually, I don't think he even uses clutch in all honesty, hence we were able to get a bit of a better run down at the back straightaway. It's not exactly needed in this car. I personally felt it was a little bit quicker, and plus it just gives you a bit better under the brakes as well. But yeah, Ethan opting for the normal manual there as everyone through the next couple of corners there. Sticks runs a little bit wide there. Ben's going to potentially have a look up the inside in towards the next couple of corners, perhaps. Swoop going to come out on top in this one. A little bit of contact there. Cozzy runs out wide there. We're going to be able to split the three of them there. Just about get between them. Thread the needle. And that is us now up into P2 of this race area. That was one of those situations where Cozzy was coming back onto the track. Sticks was trying to rejoin as well. I had to go full send to try and, you know, stay in my position there. And yeah, Sticks, a bit of a punt through the next couple of corners there. Not too sure what that was all about. It's there 3 wide behind me, perhaps even 4 wide as we head down towards turn 1 there. That is a very, very ominous sight in my rearview mirror there, but we do hold on. And we are now up into P2 of this race. A 1 second gap to Hayden, though. He's obviously been able to build this up over these last, you know, sort of half a lap there as all the carnage went on behind him. And now he really, really wanted to try and win this race there. He did say to me, you know, if we could build up a margin between the pair of us, would I let him win it? No. No was the simple answer. At the end of the day, you've got to earn these races. Wompson managed to do it last week. Obviously, I made that mistake right towards the end there. And yeah, he held on really, really well up to that point there. And Hayden, well, if he wants to win this one, he's hopefully going to have to try and do the same thing once again here. As now, you know, we've reached the halfway stage of this race here, and still there's plenty more to go in this race. So the gap to Hayden, though, hasn't come down all too much in the opening half of this lap, though. It's down to only about, well, we've taken about 2/10 out of him at this stage of the lap there. As you can see, coming through the next couple of corners, though, we're just going to run a little bit wide on the grass there, and it's going to be a huge sim twitch, a big tank slapper in towards the next corner there. I tried to do a bit of a 360, get the car pointing in the right direction again there, but that was a big mistake in the final race of the series there. A huge sim twitch. We tried to get it snapped back into line there, but unfortunately couldn't make it work there, and unfortunately that's going to put me right down to the rear of the field once more there. And I'll be honest, you know, if the title had been a lot closer, I would have probably been really annoyed with myself for that mistake, but it was quite funny, and tried to get it back around there. I think, honestly, if we hadn't clipped the grass, I could have stood a chance of getting it pointing back the right direction a bit quicker there. Maybe not lost as many places as I had there. But yeah, a huge tank slapper. One of those ones, you know, where you're just on full opposite lock over and over, and it's just a case of when, unfortunately, the car's just going to break even more grip there, and there's going to be nothing more you can do there. But yeah, unfortunately, that meant we were back down towards the rear of the field there. A bit of contact between Tigaboo and someone else meant we were back up now into P13, potentially up into P12, as I tried to have a look around the outside of Stamina here as we head down the hill. Are we going to be able to make the move work around the outside? We're certainly going to try it, and yes, I think we have actually been able to make that one. And we now move ourselves up into P12 of the race there. Run a little bit wide out over the grass there, but yeah, certainly not too much at this late stage of the race here. But coming in towards the final couple of corners, though, of this race, you can see we'd actually closed up the gap to Westby, so there are a couple more incidents happen just in front of us as well. Almost another big sim twitch as we head in towards the next couple of corners there. Meant that we were now back up into P10 of this race there. But, you know, just a few more corners to go then. Could we potentially line up anything on Westby Series? Runs a little bit wide through the next couple of corners. Are we going to be potentially have a look up the inside? Perhaps not quite there, as West actually gets a really good run through that corner there, and unfortunately, yeah, that's going to pay to any sort of opportunity in towards the final couple of corners of this race there. But through the final turn of this series, it's going to be P10 at the end of the day there. Ethan almost gets jumped by Westmeister as well. I don't think he's going to lose out that place, so plays it defensive, and they're side by side down towards the line there. But Ethan does hold on at the end of the day there, but it's P10 following on from 2 race victories in the final race of this series. Now, like I said, we have obviously been able to wrap up the championship. Hayden does take the win there by just 71 thousandths of a second over Sticks, so congratulations to him as well at the end of the day there. Vision, Cozzy, Ben, Donk, Rye, Ethan, West, myself, and then you can see Stamina, Freebie, Rally, Tigger, and Wompson rounds out the finisher order there at the end of the day there. But that is it. The LCR Clio Cup is over. As you can see, we did end up winning the title by, what, 116 points at the end of the day there, so we did still pull out a few more over Rye in that final race of this series there. Vision somehow clutches up P3. He was very happy with that one. Ahead of Stamina, West, Tigger, Wumpson, Cozzy, Hayden, Flex, Rally, Freebie, a random demon, Ben, Hordes, and Styx rounds out the top 16. Now, I thought, you know, going into the second half of the season, the battle between myself and Hordes could be quite close there, but unfortunately just didn't really show up in the second half of the championship. But yeah, 18 races, 3 out of 6 pole positions, 9 out of 18 wins, I think 12 podiums at the end of the championship. We certainly can't complain about that, and a really, really good fun series on the whole. You know, big thanks to VGN even, I should say, for hosting this series. A big thank you as well to LCR for letting me team up with them as well for this one. We did manage to wrap up the Teams Championship as well for LCR Blue. There you can see myself up in P1, Ben in P14 there, and I think Ethan down in P17, P18 at the end of the day. So yeah, luckily it was still enough at the end of the championship to wrap up the series there. But yeah, thank you all as well, everyone that has made it towards the end of this video. You know, the highlights from this series have been very long. These Clios have created a lot of chaos, a lot of carnage as well, but they've been really, really good fun cars to race nonetheless. So a big congrats, you know, to Rye as well. You know, pushed me hard throughout a lot of the season as well as, you know, everyone else as well. But thank you all so much for watching this video. Get yourself subscribed if you're new around here as well and you do want to see more content on the channel. But that'll be it then from me for the VGN Clio Cup. Now, a 4-time VGN champion. I'm very, very happy with that.